through and through. Oh, the Toon Review. Laughs and passion, football too. We are the Toon Review. By the fans, for the fans, through and through. Laughs and passion, football too. We are the Toon Review. 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 Go!
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Toon Review for tonight's Fan Forum. This is your opportunity to join me live on the show and have your say on everything Newcastle United. We'll talk about Ross Wilson. Are you inspired by the appointment of Ross Wilson as Director of Football? Bruno's contract, do you think that's a really good start? Or do you think it should be somebody else like Sandro Tonali, Sven Botman, etc.? And how are you feeling ahead of the game against Brighton? A big game down at the Amex with a 3 o'clock Saturday kickoff. And of course, Matchday Live will have you covered right here on the Toon Review. If you do enjoy the show tonight, as usual, hit that like button, guys. Really important to the channel. And of course, if you're new around here, why not subscribe? It is completely free of charge, and that massively helps the channel, and it really does put us out there into YouTube world, algorithms, etc. You can become a member of the Toon Review by hitting the join button just below myself. More prizes coming up, and of course, super chats are available. That's the $sign at the bottom of the live chat, and that will guarantee your comment to be read out on the show. Still a couple of comments saying I'm out of sync. I don't think I am, because I've rewatched the show this morning. I was banging sync. I don't know what it is. I don't know what that is. If I'm out of sync for some people, I do apologise. But certainly my videos and a couple of the live shows lately have been banging sync. So I'm not sure what on earth is going on out there in YouTube world, folks. But not out of sync, says Trevor. Thank you. Geordie Girl, not out of sync. You're fine. Thank you, guys. All I can say is just refresh, etc. That's all I can suggest you guys do. I really do. I'm sorry. But it's not... I think it is a YouTube problem with quite a lot of people. So we'll crack on because... it has been, Fabrizio Romano has put a little report out this afternoon that nothing is in the pipework for Sandro Tonali as yet for a new contract. Now, I'm not sure how that works, to be honest, or how Fabrizio Romano will find out. I have no idea how he would find out if there is such a contract in discussion. Now, of course, it was mentioned yesterday. However, you know, Bruno is looking like he's going to get offered a 5-year contract. I think that's a very good thing. Get the captain under a longer contract, and then, of course, everybody will follow on from that. Yvonne says, now you're back to normal. It's a YouTube thing. Genuinely, it's a YouTube thing. So thanks, Yvonne, but unfortunately, it's out of my hands. I wish YouTube would sort it out, but whatever. Listen, it's my voice, though. Whether I'm looking like a Bruce Lee movie or not, it's just one of those things, guys. But the majority of people say I am in sync, so there you go. Right. Yeah, Rachel refreshed. I'm all, I was out of sync, and a refresh has done the job there, so thank you. Right, we'll crack on, because obviously it's just, apparently you click on settings on the video and click stable volume off. There you go. So click stable volume off, and that should reset everything. But hey, YouTube, man, honestly, they change things on their end and don't let anybody know. That's the crazy thing. They don't let anybody know that the settings have changed, and you have to do X, Y, and Z to get it sorted. But there you go. Right, I will put the link up for you guys to come and join me on the show. Hopefully, we'll get some newbies making their debut as well. I'm very intrigued to know how you guys are feeling about the new director of football. If you think it's going to work, is this now the dream team in place with the new CEO, the new director of football, and of course Eddie Howe? Hopefully, this is it. This is the long-term team. But yeah, we'll see. So there you go. I'll just pin that. The link is now pinned to join me live on the show, guys. Remember, you don't need to use your camera. If you don't want to come on camera, you can easily use your microphone and just treat it as a phone call if you do wish to do that. But let's see how you guys are feeling regarding everything Newcastle United tonight. It's your chance. It's your chance. We have Ash with us on the line. Ash, are you there?
Yeah, hiya, Paul.
How are you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. I'd like to say about Fabrizio, like
he's
been in so many people's pockets. I hope he's got a good hand sanitizer. You know.
Yeah, he does seem to be creating a bit of uproar here and there, doesn't he? I mean, he wasn't very complimentary about Newcastle United over the transfer window for me. He said a lot of bollocks with regards to players going here, there and everywhere. And I think it did cause a lot of problems for us. But with the new director of football, Ash, is it a good one for you, or are you a little bit underwhelmed?
I'm very happy with Wilson. Like, he done us up over Alice Anderson, didn't he? Like, if he can do that to us, think what he can do to other people with PSR. You know.
I mean, look, I think the Anderson situation that had to happen. Whether it was a good director of football in place or not, I think Newcastle had to sell him. And the reason, and I said on the show this morning. Yeah, I said on the show this morning as well, Ash, that I don't think there was any time to put anything into these contracts, i.e. buyback clauses or anything like that. It was simply, let's get him sold, let's cover our asses for PSR, and let's move on after that.
Definitely seems that way. Like, yeah, I mean, at the time it was that or sell like an Isak or a Gordon, weren't it, or a Bruno, and we made the right decision, in my opinion.
Yeah, I do as well. But how are you feeling regarding the contract extensions? Because obviously we're hearing that Bruno may well be, or has been, offered a 5-year deal to take him up to 2030. Is it the right move getting the captain sorted before anybody else?
Definitely, I think he's sort of earned that right, hasn't he? But next we have to do Toon Army, and then I think Lewis Hall deserves one. He's only on like $5 or $6 grand a week. Like, that's nothing.
Yeah. I think we need to get Lewis under some sort of bigger contract. Who would you go for next? If Bruno is the first one to sign the extension, who do you think to turn to next?
Tino, then Sandro.
You think Tino before Sandro, do you?
Yeah, I think Tino, just because Man City have already been after him, haven't they? And we need to sort of weigh off the competition. And then Sandro, like, well, I've already seen reports Juventus are lining up some offer where they give us Coop minors. Like, I don't want him. Like, you know.
Well, look, I mean, I think what we're in for, certainly every single transfer window, is Italian clubs are going to be linked with Tonali. And I think we've just got to accept that over the coming months and years that he's at the club. I think it's just going to be a case of, Tonali this, Tonali that. I was very sort of pissed off, actually, the other day when these Tonali made a statement, saying that you can never say never about going back to Italy. And then suddenly people were putting out that he's hinted at leaving Newcastle. That wasn't the case at all. All he said was that you never say never to going back and finishing your career in Italy. But again, people are putting 2 and 2 together and getting 7.
Yeah, I forgot. I forgot about Botman. By the way, I'd definitely go for Botman. Yeah. Get him tied down. Yeah, I forgot Botman. Yeah, my bad. Yeah.
I mean, and really, it's the spine of the team, Ash, isn't it?
But no, like the problem.
Go on.
The problem we got is Tonali is elite, isn't he? And like of course, people are going to want him. And like same with Botman. I mean, if he's not injured, like this might be controversial, but if he's not injured, I think he's the best defender in the league.
He's up there. He's up there. I mean, I don't think Botman gets the praise that he actually deserves, because I think you're right. I think he's right up there with the likes of Van Dijk. But Van Dijk is the media darling. Van Dijk is the pundits' number one. and nobody will come close to Van Dijk when you're talking about centre backs. But for me, I think
I'm sorry,
Botman's
but
right
anyone
up there.
who's watched Van Dijk this season,
Yeah.
he's lost his legs, in my opinion. He's not as good as he was. This is exactly why Liverpool want Botman, in my opinion.
I agree. I mean, look, Botman's much nuts as there. The Botman is good, but lacking the speed. I think the speed will come in time. I think Botman reads the game so well that it sort of negates having to be an absolute speedster. If he reads the game better than anybody, he is going to win the ball, and that's what he's been doing, Ash, isn't it?
Yeah, he's got a really elite footballing brain. And that's where, you don't necessarily need to speed. I think that's also why we signed Malik as well.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Because he has the speed. Where he complements Botman's game so well.
Sharon Chapman says, personally, I would have went Tonali, Botman, Livramento, Hall, and then Bruno. Bruno's an interesting one because obviously he just signed a new extension 2 years ago in 2023. So, but obviously they're going for the captain first, and I think if they go for the skipper first, that sort of leads by example.
I think.
How are you
heading?
heading? How are you
really
feeling
well in the
against
video
Brighton,
this
Ash?
morning, Paul.
Cheers. How are you heading? How are you thinking ahead of Brighton? Are you confident on Saturday?
Let's make sure Big Nick gets through his game in Germany before I make my
yeah. It's
prediction
all
on
about
that
fitness, isn't it? It's all about coming home fit.
Yeah.
I'm worried. I said this morning I'm worried about the guys playing for Brazil out there in South Korea, and then they're coming back home late. Then they've got to get to the Amex for a Saturday 3:00 kickoff. Sometimes it's absolutely ridiculous. But hopefully,
I have a feeling we'll see Lewis Miley in the team.
Interesting. Is that
because
in front of Joe Linton?
In front of Big Joe. Yeah,
Right.
I think he'll give Big Joe the day off not day off, but on the bench because of everything they've gone through with the Brazil team. It's been a shit show, really, isn't it? They had the incident in Air.
Interesting. Well, are you going to put in a little prediction for Brighton? Sure. You
okay, so I'll do two. I'll do two.
Yeah.
If Big Nick comes through this Germany match fully fit, I think we'll win 3-1 against Brighton.
Well, I hope you're right,
If
Ash.
Big Nick doesn't, then I'm going to go for a 1-0 loss.
A 1-0 loss.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't like the sound of that.
As much as I like Osula, I don't think he's ready for the Premier League. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, you know my feelings on that. But
I think he could be in the future, Paul. But
yeah, I do.
At the moment,
I don't think the time's right at the minute, but we'll see. Ash,
and
thank
if
you
we're
for coming
selling
on, mate.
Osula, we need a buyback clause.
Well,
if we sell Osula, we need a buyback clause.
Yeah, that might be a good option. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you very much for having me on, Paul.
Pleasure
Cheers.
as usual,
Cheers.
matey. Take care.
Take care. Yeah.
Good night.
Bye.
Oh, sorry. He's
all the best to Joe's husband.
Yes. Thank you, Ash. That's very kind. Still undergoing treatment, of course. But Joe's in good spirits. Thank you for that, Ash. Keith Dice has been a member for 43 months on the channel, and says these international breaks totally suck. They do, massively. I hate them. There must be a better plan than every month. And I said this on the show this morning. It's about teams that suddenly get momentum over the next 2 or 3 Premier League games, and then it's cut short again because there's another one in November. You get a bit of a run going, and then suddenly, bang, you're out of Premier League stops again, and you've got to get going again. It's really, really annoying. Still plenty spaces, guys. If you want to join me tonight, we've got Emma, we've got Rich, and we've got Bill waiting to come on. But there is plenty spaces, so just hit that link. And if you don't want to be on camera, you can do what Ash did, and just have a chat like you're on the telephone. But next up, we got Emma. Good evening, Emma.
Evening.
How are you doing?
Not too good, but
that doesn't sound.
Keep the spirits high.
That doesn't sound great. Well, hopefully, the return of Premier League football will cheer you up a little bit.
Yeah.
So, what do you think of the new director of football, then, Emma? Have you been a bit underwhelmed by the appointment, or do you think Maybe he just deserves a chance because obviously me and Alex ran through what his achievements. Not so great at Rangers, but did a good job at Southampton. Done all right at Nottingham Forest. Where do you stand on it?
At the minute, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt because I don't know much about him.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like to say that, he's not going to be any good. But I just want to touch up on something that Ash has just said.
Yeah.
He said Asula is not fit for the Premier League. Did he forget, even though we lost, did he forget that Asula actually scored the equalising goal against Liverpool?
He probably has remembered that, but I actually said this morning, Emma, and I know you were in the show this morning, that I don't want him. Listen, I don't think he's up there yet. Okay, I said it, and I've said it for weeks now. I don't think he is up there as what we need when we are going to be where we are. However, what I've also stated is, I hope he chucks that back in my face. Because I got accused this morning of talking shite about Asula and that he's this, he's that. Somebody put in the chat that he was a great player. Now, I think that's far off the mark. He's not a great player. And if he was a great player, he'd have been in the Premier League very, very early, much earlier than he is. However, I've always backed it up by saying that I hope he succeeds. I hope he throws egg in my face and many other fans who don't think he's going to be good enough to make the grade. And I hope he goes on to be an absolute hero at Newcastle United. I would love to see that, similar to the way Joe Linton has come through. But at the minute, I don't see it. Because 1 minute he can do something really good, and the next couple, he's crazy. Yeah, I don't know what he's doing. But he's here. But there is rumours that Newcastle, which we spoke about this morning on the show, the Bundesliga teams are very interested in him. Eintracht Frankfurt is still very interested in him. And I think it all depends, Emma, if Wissa goes to the African nations. I think if Wissa stays, we may sell him. And to be honest, if we can make 35 million, Emma, it's not 35, 40 million. It's not a bad amount to make, really, is it?
It's not. But what we also forget is he was brung in for a backup for the Rat.
Mm-hmm.
And all right, the Rat did well with us, but I think the reason why Asula is not up to scratch is because Eddie hasn't given him a 1-to-1 to get him up to scratch, and that's why I think Asula does want to leave, because I think he would have left on deadline day, but because we got Wissa on deadline day, I think that's why the deal went dead for Asula, because Eddie knew Wissa was going to go to the Africans Cup of Nations, but with him getting this injury, in a way, it's a good thing that we kept Asula just as kind of a backup. I mean, Asula can play striker, he can play left, he can play right, because he's got the speed.
Well, John says there, Paul, Eddie has stopped Asula from developing by giving him the odd few minutes. But you're not going to put him in front of Voltemada. You're not going to put him in front of Wissa. And the start of the season just said to me how much real confidence Eddie has in Asula by the fact that he put Gordon as striker. Yeah. If he thought that Asula was Premier League grade now, he would have played him in those games because he went without the striker instead of playing Asula. So, in my opinion, I don't really think 100% that Eddie sold on him, but I may be wrong on that. We'll see. How are you feeling ahead of the Brighton game? I know you're always confident, Emma, but this is a little bit difficult, isn't it? Because we're not going to get a lot of training sessions in as a team, and then people coming back late from international duty from all around the world, and then having to go to Brighton at the Amex. And then, the games come thick and fast again with Europe and the Carabao and things like that. How are you feeling ahead of it?
I'm confident that we can get the win. Maybe it's a 2-1 win, a 1-0 win. Either way, a win's going to help us get further up the table and hopefully shut the bloody Mackham scum's mouth to shreds, because they are pissing me off. Saying that they're better than Newcastle. They were better than Newcastle. Would they they went down to League Two and had to fight all the way back up. Yet they're saying that they're better than Newcastle. Are they shite?
To be honest, I'm paying no attention to them. Let them have the 5 minutes of fun. They've been out of the Premier League for so long. Suddenly, early doors now, they're ahead of Newcastle in the Premier League. It doesn't bother me at all because it's all about where we finish. It's all about how we perform when we take on Sunderland. And I think, by the time those games come around, we will be at full floor, and I think we'll crucify them,
It's
to be
like
honest.
the husband. They haven't played the big six. They've played all the lower down teams. They haven't played the big six, and they think they're going to win against Liverpool. Are they shite? Liverpool's going to stuff them.
I mean, obviously the loss to Man United, that was I actually expected Sunderland to get something out of that. I do think Sunderland will stay up this season. I don't think they'll go down. I think there's worse teams than Sunderland. But
I've got them in the league for 17th.
I think we'll hammer them. What's your prediction for Saturday then, Emma?
I'm going 2-1 win. And
Nice.
on contract things, it's going to be, obviously we know about Bruno.
Yeah.
It's going to be 2-0. We cannot lose our Italian stallion. Then it's got to be Botman.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Botman's just come back from serious injury. That's why he's not fully up to speed yet.
Yeah, but we know what kind of player he is.
There. Then
Yeah.
I want it to be Lewis Hall because he missed out on the Carabao Cup final due to injury. And then I will possibly do Tino.
Yeah. I think those are the five that really need, the spine, and make sure that we don't make the same mistake we made with certain rats. Listen, Emma, thank you for coming on. Get yourself sorted, and hopefully we'll see you in better spirits next time.
All the best to Joe's husband, and I'm sending you lots of prayers and loves and hugs your way, John, your hubby.
Oh, thank you. That's very kind. That's very kind, Emma. Right, you take care.
You too.
Good night.
Good night. Bye.
So that was Emma, as usual, confident of a win on Saturday. I don't think Emma's ever predicted us to even draw, which is a very, very positive attitude to have. Sometimes she's quite far out with her predictions, but sometimes she's made predictions and I've laughed at her and she's been proved right. So what the hell do I know? Right, we got Bill up next. Bill, good evening.
Hello, Paul. How you doing, mate?
I'm all right. You're very
got a dark background. I'm doing
dark
my
and
Sinead
smoky.
O'Connor
It looks like a
impression.
dark and smoky room, like a
No,
back closet of a working men's club.
I've got a light bouncing off a piece of not quite white paper to try and light my face.
Well, we can see you, mate.
I
Don't
don't
worry.
want the back lit up because my room's a mess.
Don't worry about that, matey. We can see you.
Cool.
So, we haven't heard from you for a couple of weeks, Bill. How are you feeling about this season? I mean, I'm asking everybody this tonight because I want their opinion on it. Obviously the new director of football. Are you sold on him? Or are you just underwhelmed? Or are you just going to sit on the fence, wait and see?
Can I come to that in a second? I'm going to answer your first bit first. Why I've not been on for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Brian Rogers, who lost his wife a couple of weeks back?
Yes.
That's my brother.
Oh, right. Okay.
So obviously my
Right.
sister-in-law's passed. It's hit me a lot harder than I thought it was going to. And just as an update to you, it's at the funeral on Thursday.
Right.
So I'll be heading down Nottingham Way.
Right. Well, we'll all be thinking about this.
So I don't have a religious bone in my body, but anybody who does any prayers and thoughts that you want to offer to my brother would be most appreciated.
Yeah, he knows we're thinking about him.
Yeah.
He let us know when it actually happened.
Yeah, I know. I
And
was watching. I was watching.
Yeah.
But anyway, sporting director.
Yes.
Yes. I hope he does really, really well.
Mhm.
I'm biased against him before he starts because growing up in Nottingham as a Newcastle fan, when Cloughie had Forest winning everything, I can't stand Forest. And he's come from Forest, but then again, so did Stuart Pearce. So I've got to.
Well,
edge,
I think Stuart Pearce was rather on the sort of latter stages of his career when he played for because there was a few, wasn't there? Barnes, Rush.
Yeah.
It was like an old people's home
But
at
at least
one
we
stage.
knew Stuart Pearce gave his all.
Oh,
every
hell,
game.
God, what a player he was.
So,
what a player.
If our new sporting director gives his all, I'm prepared to give him every chance.
Are you worried about his
like-
Rangers career, Bill? Because obviously we brought that up. That was a major highlight on the show last night, was when we were talking about him, that he things didn't go well at Rangers, and the fans wanted him out. They had banners about him. Now, normally you don't get that with a director of football. It's sort of aiming at the board, but he got the majority, the chunk of, I guess, abuse from the fans. But
was it all the fans, or was it a section,
well,
or a big section?
Bill,
of the,
you know football. Some fans can, once they've made a decision on somebody, that's it. They will never change. But
we had the same. I mean, I was Eddie out for a very short while and on the fence for a long while.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But I am now so glad he proved me wrong.
That's what it's all about, though, isn't it? I mean, the people that have said, "Oh, it's an underwhelming appointment," I guess it is when you think of the names that are actually out there that we could have brought in as a director of football. But this guy has a fantastic CV from Southampton. He's done really well at Nottingham Forest. And there's no way Newcastle would have gone for this bloke if they hadn't done the due diligence on him and realised what an absolute superstar this could be. I mean, I think I called it the dream team at the start of the show because I think David Hopkinson, this man has been there, done it, worn the T-shirt many moons, many times. Yep. He is a fantastic guy and perfect for our CEO. And I think he will have looked at Ross Wilson as well as the PIF. So, is it a case of, hey, let's just trust the process here, trust the guys that are running the club to get the right people in this time, because lessons have surely been learned from the last two.
Yeah. Well, this might sound a bit cliche, and I hope it doesn't, because I genuinely mean it. I don't particularly care about the individuals. I care more, in this case, about how they work together. Yeah. When it comes to Eddie Howe, I care about the individual. He is our manager, and he's got to stay our manager. As long as he's doing the job he's doing, he's got to keep doing it. But as for the back, the upstairs staff, as long as they work together, don't really care who the individuals are.
Well, I mean, listen, there's plenty chat coming in saying that, we said that Ashworth and obviously Mitchell came with fantastic CVs. They were going to be brilliant. It's a bit different this time around, so we may get better than what, the two with fantastic CVs didn't work. Quite plain and simply, they did not work. So I'm happy with the appointment. I have to say, I'm going to give him the full support because he deserves that. Let's see where we're sitting in a year's time, and let's see what he's doing. But he looks like he's come in and hit the ground running straight away with Bruno's contract, and then obviously he has a remit to get the others under. If you believe the reports, that is, that the others are going to try and get extensions to their contracts. So I think it'll all work out in the end. I'm pretty confident of this time.
On the contracts, just my opinion, and what do I know? I think he had to do Bruno first, because if Bruno has it in his contract that he's got to be at least on par with the highest paid, it means, let's just say he did Tonali and Tonali went above Bruno, then they've got to talk to Bruno. And then let's say they did Botman and Botman went above Tonali, then you have to talk to Bruno. Whereas if you talk to Bruno first and the rest of the team know he is going to be on a par with the highest earning, in their heads, that sets a ceiling on expectation.
Yeah.
I'm just going to pluck a figure out the air and I'm going to make it as stupid as I can because I don't want people thinking I'm in the know. Let's just say Bruno, 250 grand a week. No, I don't think he's going to get that by a long shot, but let's just say 250,000 a week. Everybody else then knows that's the maximum. Yeah. And more importantly than the players, the agents know. And I think it's the agents that push the players' demands.
Absolutely, 100%.
Because until the day comes where the players pay their own agents, and then that's going to take the bottom out of that market. Then the agents
I don't
are
think
always
that day will ever come, Bill, to be quite honest.
I don't think it will. But when I was working as a magician, if I had an agent, I had to pay my agent. The client didn't pay the agent.
Yeah, couldn't you just magic some money out of a hat, Bill? Just the old.
Do you know what? If I could do that, I'd have my own channel, Paul.
Yeah, very true.
Sorry, if I could do that, I'd be sponsoring your channel.
Exactly. That's a better answer.
That's what I
meant. Much better. What's your prediction for Saturday then, Bill?
Again, a lot depends on if Nick comes back uninjured. If he does, I'm gonna go one better. I'm gonna go 2-0 to us, because the defense, whilst they've at times looked a bit shaky, they haven't been.
Yeah, but
If
the
that
Amex,
makes any
the
sense
Amex
to
bill,
you.
remember, the Amex hasn't been a real. It's been a little bit of a dodgy place for Newcastle to go in the past.
Do you remember a time when we used to say that about London and in particular Arsenal?
Unfortunately, yes, I do remember
Yeah.
that.
Well, you know,
Times can
everything has
change.
to come to an end.
It does.
So the hoodoo has to end somehow.
It does. Listen, Bill, thank you very much for coming on. And
Thank you for having me on, mate.
thoughts and prayers everybody in the family for Thursday, mate.
Yeah,
hope everything
Mr. Rich
goes okay.
has said something in the studio
He
chat.
has as
Thank
well,
you,
yeah.
Mr. Rich. And obviously, I don't know if people in the chat know, but when you're backstage like this, I can't see the chat. So anybody who's wishing well for my brother in the chat, thank you very
there
very
was a load
much.
came through there for you. No problem.
Yeah. We'll be
All right,
going
Bill.
down and supporting him. So all the very best.
Yes,
and
you take care.
how are the lads and lasses?
Yes, we'll see you soon, Bill. Take care.
Well, I talk to you later, Paul.
Good
Bye-bye.
night. So that was Bill, and thank you to all the well wishers in the chat. It's awful what's happened there, but I don't know. We've lost a lot of Toon Review viewers and subscribers over the years that we've done this. In the short time that we've been this sort of community, but I guess it is life, isn't it? It deals us bad hands at times, and the thing is about this channel is we can always rely on each other and help each other out and bounce back, and hopefully everything goes okay for Bill and the family. We've got Mr. Proudlock, we got Steve Rackham, we got Dave Magpie, we got Mr. Rich still waiting to come on, so we will get you all on the show tonight, no doubt about it. Geordie Girl has sent in a super chat. I love the Toon Review. Well, thank you very much, Geordie Girl. We really do appreciate that. Good evening, Peter.
You're right, Paul. How you doing?
Not too bad, matey.
Good.
What's your thoughts on Ross Wilson?
Well, you got to give him an opportunity. It's like anyone who comes through the door, you want to give them that chance, of course, to see how they can do. So I'm going to give the guy an opportunity and see what he does. If he's done well at Southampton Forest, then that's slightly promising.
Were you a little? I mean, it seemed. Look, I did a show a couple of weeks ago and said that there was a possibility that this guy was going to get the job. He was being touted by the journalists. He was being told that, or we were being told that this is the guy to keep an eye on, that Newcastle particularly want. But then when it actually happens, were you underwhelmed, or did you go on the internet straight away, try and do a bit of background on this guy and see what he's done in the past?
Yeah, I've looked at see where he's been and all of that. So I know it didn't work out with Rangers, but it's going to work out. It's going to work out.
A mess.
Yeah, well, it might work out not well at one club, but it might go well the next club that you go at.
The thing is, you look at Ross Wilson, and he's not the biggest name in the game at all, and he did have a problem at Rangers. However, some people are making legitimate points in the chat that Nottingham Forest are in a bit of a mess at the minute.
Well, they are.
Now, Marinakis, whatever you want to call him, I mean...
He's a bit of a knacker.
Knackeris, it should be his name, because he's getting rid of Nuno was a fatal error.
That was a scandalous decision.
And, people know how I feel on... Big Ange. I don't rate him as a manager.
Neither do I.
Anything. Celtic, like Billy said, anybody can go to Celtic and take that team on.
Probably walk through
Absolutely.
Premier League.
Or certainly when he had the job. Maybe not now, but there's a lot of work needs to be done there. But at the same time, I
not relegated.
And then they're talking about Dyche. I mean, you talk about going from a real upcoming powerful manager like Nuno, who's done so much work for you, and then you're going down to Sean Dyche. I mean, Jesus Christ!
It might do a job of keeping you up, Sean Dyche, but it's not.
Yeah, but I think it's that marijuana bloke. I do. I think he's literally. well, he's literally off his head, to be honest.
Well off his head, absolutely.
He's destroyed the football. So I don't really put that on.
No.
On the director of football. I mean, what
No,
can he
no.
do? You know, he's brought in
Exactly.
some good players there.
Well, he has, hasn't he?
So what would you do with the contracts, and Pete?
Bruno first, yes, because he's the captain at the moment. Then I would go with Sandro. I think we definitely need to get him tied down.
Yeah.
Botman as well, one of our best defenders, and I think we need to do Tino as well because we know Manchester City are sniffing around him, and we know we want to keep him here for a while.
It's the
well.
spine of the team, isn't it? That's what you need to look at.
We
the
want to
spine
keep
of
all
the
of our
team.
best players.
You know, you look at that back four.
Look how good
you
it is.
think Tino, Lewis Hall.
Oh, that Chow
Ing-
Botman,
Ing-
that's the one.
yeah.
That's the back four going
100%.
forward.
Yeah, it is, and hopefully that could be the back four for Newcastle. Obviously,
Yeah.
it's not going to be every game because there will be
but
changes and there will be
Should be
rotation.
the majority of the games.
Yeah, but the big games, you look at those things,
Yeah,
right?
that's
That's the
what we
four
need.
that we want. And then you look at midfield. We've got to tie him. We've got to tie Tonali down. We simply have to.
Yeah, we have to.
Bruno, I can understand it. Bruno's the captain. You've got to go that way. And then, you know, so he does have a big job, Ross Wilson.
Oh, he does.
Straight away. And then, of course, once he's got them out the way, everything turns to the transfer window in January and all this Asula thing. And I mean, where do you stand on Will Asula?
Oh, it's a tough one, isn't it? Because you want to give him a chance, but it's taken him a while to develop it. That's the only problem.
Well, that's my point I'm making. You know, he's been here long enough now. If he was going to be a big hit, and the fact that Eddie hasn't played him a lot says to me that he's not sold on him.
It could be. We could be in the window for a new striker, whether we sell him or we could give him maybe a loan spell or two away and he might come back a better player.
How are you feeling about Saturday then? Because long trip for Newcastle. It's never an easy place to go, is the Amex, but things are a little bit different with us at the minute. Fingers crossed everybody comes back from international duty firing all cylinders.
Well, you know, it's not one of our greatest places, but we've got to try and end that at some point. We know it's not going to be an easy game. It's always a tough game for us. However, Minte against Dan Burns really petrifies me, to be fair.
Well, I'm just reading, Bill. Sorry, Peter, that Minte is actually struggling to be fit. There's a headline just come out saying that Yakuba Minte faces a race to be fit to face former club Newcastle United as Brighton injury problems mount. So already it looks. I'm just looking through it now. Bear with us a second, and we'll see what they mean by injuries, because it looks like they've got more than a few out.
But if he is fit and he's up against Dan Burn, that will be a worry.
Well, 100%.
Oh, yeah.
He'd be desperate to face his buddies. He'd be assessed for fatigue after his long-haul international break, playing against the Seychelles for Gambia. So, highly rated midfielder Carlos Baliba, and he's been obviously over in Africa as well. But to be honest, are they really injuries? I think it's just for travel fatigue. And we face the same thing with Bruno.
Take a few days rest.
Yeah.
And then you're back. Then you'll be fine.
I mean, we face the same thing with our guys.
Well,
What's your prediction then, Pete?
I'm going to say 2-1 win. I know it might not be easy, but I think we'll just get through it and win 2-1.
Cool. Thanks for coming on, buddy. See you soon.
Cheers, Paul.
So there you go. Another super chat's coming from Dan. He says, positive side, if Forest go down, go for Anderson. I said that this morning, and that was highlighted a lot in the chat as well, that if Forest go down, that will be our opportunity, I think, to pounce and get him. Because if Forest stay up, I don't see Elliot Anderson coming back to Newcastle for a few years, at least. Because for all the positive of Elliot Anderson that he's getting now, he would not be in the position he is now if he was still at Newcastle United. And Eddie Howe even said that himself in his last press conference when he was asked about it. Before the Forest game, he said that he probably wouldn't be because, you know, how are you going to get in that Newcastle midfield on a regular basis? So it's probably suited Elliot himself that he's gone and he's getting regular football. He's pivotal to Forest. He's now pushed his way into Thomas Tuchel's reckoning. So everything is going really well for Elliot Anderson, and he's not going to come cheap. And that's why it was, you know, very disappointing that we didn't get a buyback clause in there for as either first dibs on him or whatever. But the deal happened too quick. It was always going to be very, very difficult. We've got Dave Magpie. Good evening.
Good evening, Paul. Thanks
How
for
are you
having us
doing?
on, mate. Not too bad, mate. Not too bad.
Good. What do you want to say tonight then?
Basically, it's gone on about obviously, well, the new sporting director.
Yeah.
I'm just going to echo a lot of things what a lot of the other guys have said. Basically, yeah, we should give him a chance. I did. Obviously, when I was watching another video, reckoned that he might have been an old pal of Eddie's. So
Yeah,
the
I did read that. Yeah.
Yeah, the relationship obviously might already be there. So, and I think that has been the key problem with the other two guys that we've had in. There's been clashes behind the scene. Obviously, we'll probably never know about that, but and they've ended up just spitting their dummies out and saying, right, where are we?
Yeah, there's been a lot of Newcastle, or a lot of, I'm not going to call them Newcastle fans, actually, a lot of people saying on social media, Eddie's got his way again, he's got his pal in, when these reports came out that they already knew each other. But I agree with you. I think it's a good thing. And I do genuinely believe that
it's never always a bad thing, because
exactly.
Just because you know somebody doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing.
Yeah.
Obviously the key is having a working relationship. That's the
well. If anything,
that's
it's
the main key.
for me, Dave. It's a bigger risk, because if you're friends with someone coming into the job, there's a risk there that you disagree on so much that you fall out and your friendship falls apart. So there's a risk factor anyway.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, but obviously, if that ever did happen, obviously now we have got a CEO in place. That's when That's when he steps in. So hopefully we won't have the Ashworth problem or bloody obviously Muppet problem again. So
I mean, I'm excited to see where it goes, Dave. I think
I am,
the fact
yeah.
that he hasn't come into this job with all the bells and whistles like the other two
Nope.
did. So
Nope.
that might be a benefit, and
Yeah.
that he really does.
I think it could be. And the key factors, obviously, since the transfer window isn't active at the minute, he's focusing on where he's supposed to be, and that's getting our top players tied down. And honestly, we need that done before January.
Yeah,
all the main ones have to be done before January.
100%.
Like I say, a couple of others have said. I think Emma said there before, Man City sniffing around Tino. We can't have that.
Well, they're
Obviously,
sniffing around Bruno as well, weren't they? Because Bruno,
that's right.
When the window closed, that Man City was sniffing, and he told them to get lost, basically. So
yeah, well, I think we can probably trust Bruno, because I don't think I think he is so settled here. I don't think he'll ever go anywhere.
No,
But obviously, again, as you've said yourself, we cannot afford another rat problem at all to happen
that's the main
again.
thing. But I think the thing is, Dave, if he gets these contracts extended, right, for me, that will indicate that this guy is bloody good at his job. If he can get these key elite players that we have signed down to long-term deals, obviously the wage budget, I've said many times, I think that it's not necessarily a bad thing having a wage budget in place. It's proved very successful. However, we have to sort of stretch that now, because if we want the elite players to stay at this football club, then we have to start paying elite wages. There's just no argument in that.
Yeah, that's where the club has got to end up at, or it's going to be our only way to compete with the so-called bloody rat six. So basically, they come in soon. Well, if you look at what happened, obviously, like see the players we went for last in the summer, basically, and there's only been one thing in common: the clubs have went to have just thrown money at them.
Yeah,
and they've taken it. Obviously, Sesko, for example, obviously, right? It was rumored, obviously, they actually paid a lesser fee than what we offered, but bloody Man U went in and offered him our 300 grand a week, and he's taking it. Yeah. And obviously, and where the hell are Man U? Newton Heath.
That deal was all about money for me.
And
100%. Let all of these just struggle. Isak struggling, Sesko struggling. It's hilarious, and that big continue to score
honestly,
the goals.
The only time I actually obviously watch or listen to anything to do with them Cartel 6, and that's to catch any news on how their so-called new big signings are doing. And I tell you, I laugh me starts off every time when they fell flat on their face. Honestly, it's brilliant.
I mean, they're getting pelters from the fans already, which is even funny. What's your prediction for Saturday then, Dave? Away at Brighton.
Well, the South Coast hasn't been good to us in it overall for a number of years. Basically, just going back to obviously what the other lad said earlier on, obviously about Southampton itself, and that when we never even got to win at the Dell. That was a massive booby ground for us.
Was it not?
So, and the Amex has turned into pretty much the same thing. So, again, it depends on if Nick comes back unscathed. We've got a chance, but for safety, I'm gonna settle on a 1-1.
No problem. Listen, Dave, thanks for coming on. Some great points there. Take care, matey.
Not a problem, mate. Thanks for having us, kidder.
All right, take care. Good night.
Bye.
So we've got Stephen next, then we've got Roly and Evan. So we will bring on Steve. Good evening.
How are you doing? I've just dipped a biscuit.
I caught you at the right time.
Aye.
There's nothing the matter with a Monday night biscuit, matey. What would you like to say tonight?
Why, just everything that's been going on. I'm like, when as fans did we talk about finances, man?
I know. It's crazy.
It's mad.
It? Yeah.
Like,
we were never bothered
finance.
about it back in the day, were we? I mean, even in the 80s when me and Billy have mentioned the board with McKeegan and everything back in the 80s and how bad it was. I don't recall. I mean, I was only a kid at the time, obviously a very young kid, but I don't recall a lot of people talking about finances. I mean, I think this is just an internet thing that's obviously now people get to chat about it and people get to, and PSR and all of this. This was never around back then, and it never seemed to be an issue.
But as a fan, will I get worried about it?
Yeah.
I must admit, like back in the day, when we lost Gascoigne, like I'm an 80s lad like you, back in the 80s, Keegan and all that. And I cried when we lost Beardsley when he went to Liverpool. I was in tears. I was in the state.
I remember that. It was crap because we had Waddle, we had Beardsley, we had Keegan, we had Gaza. There were so many, great players at Newcastle United who have gone on to obviously have fantastic careers, but then in such a short space of time, we lost them all. But
that's it. We're never built around a good team, did we? We were never built around a good player, and that's where we are now, aren't we? We've got many good players that we need to build around and keep them.
Yeah, we've got a core elite group, I think. Certainly, for me, the back four, the standout back four is obviously Livramento and Hall, and then you've got the Chow and Botman. I think that those four, given their ages, if we can get them to long-term deals, they will be with Newcastle for a long time, and it could possibly be a back four that would win a lot of things for us. And then you look at the midfield group. I think Bruno as captain is probably a sensible decision to get his contract done first. Then Tonali, I think his is going to be massive. And I think if Ross Wilson manages to pull this off and get all of these elite core group under new long-term deals, I will sit up and take notice of this bloke and say, yeah, he's in it for the long haul. He's pulled off a massive coup by getting these contracts extended.
Absolutely. I mean, third time lucky, hopefully, because the last two have just went to shit, haven't they, really?
Yeah.
And we're all like singing the praises and saying, they've got good CVs, like a lot of callers have said. And I'm like, for God's sake, hopefully this time around it'll work out.
Does his Rangers career worry you, Stephen, or are you just it can happen to anybody? I mean, Rangers, to be honest, I haven't got any better since he left anyway. I mean, I don't see. I think it was above him, the problems there. But
at Forest, did he have the same role? He didn't have the same role, did he? At Forest, it was a varied role.
I mean, I don't know whether it was a different name or what. I don't know. Some of them don't name it as sporting directors. Some they change the name of the job role, but
exactly.
I don't think he's done a bad job at Forest. I think if you look at Forest since he's been there, the players that he's managed to attract to that club,
exactly.
Regardless of how they're playing now. But the players that he's attracted, that's down to the manager. That's not down to Ross Wilson as a director of football. He's brought the players in, and Forest were brilliant last season and had a fantastic season, and then it's all gone pear-shaped because of
absolutely. Oh, it was
a
shocking.
manager and owner clash, you know.
The manager,
yeah,
shocking what they've done. But yeah, exactly what you say. If he's brought the right players in, he's done his research and he's brought the people in that they think they need. But what happened with Elliot was shocking.
Yeah,
as well.
I mean, look, I think that really still boils Eddie's piss, to be honest, with what happened there. You know, it still haunts him, but he's got to move on from that. And then if there is ever a future for Elliot Anderson at Newcastle United, then I'm sure we will look at that. But I do believe if Forest went down, Stephen, I do believe that we then go and try and get Elliot back.
Oh, without a doubt. But it's like the clever things that the Man Cities have done with the buy-back clauses and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like with the keeper, that we should have had that keeper, and he went with that buyback clause, and we spent a year. We're like, waste time. Like, surely you can sort that out. Surely upstairs can sort that out. Like,
yeah, you would have hoped. How are you feeling ahead of Saturday? What do you reckon going to the Amex?
well, I was thinking this might be a one for Sato. How do we come back from international breaks? I know we struggled last season or the season before with the when we're in the Champions League, and that travel and that time between games wasn't much training time. We never do well on the South Coast, but I'm going for a win. Like,
yeah, well, I mean, look, Eddie's already said that they don't get a lot of training time with the games coming thick and fast as it is.
Absolutely,
so I think the players would rather play games than train anyway. I've always been a big advocate of that, and you know, any sportsman likes to be in the games rather than train. Yes, you can get things, you can pick up things in training and improve your game, but there's nothing like the match day experience. And I think Newcastle players, you know, certainly the way they've started to pick things up before the break started. Let's just hope that they continue that on Saturday.
Well, that's it. You're saying the momentum, but like, isn't a break good as well? Like, I know certain players
it can be
on international duty. Isn't a break good as well to get people match fit? Like we've all said about the German, and he's been pushed straight into it. But surely this game time will help him. Or, you know,
I mean, it definitely can be beneficial. Absolutely. I mean, you look at Lewis Hall, but you know, when the international break came around, we thought, right, 2 weeks to get himself fit, but it's turned out that he's going to be out a while. But it can, but I just fucking hate them, to be honest. I absolutely hate them.
I hate them. They're boring as fuck.
I mean, I remember, I said this morning on this morning show, you know, as a kid, England played on the Wednesday, but there never used to be a break in the league programme. You know, the league would play on the weekend, the Saturday, mainly the Saturday and the Sunday. I mean, if they get, you know, play all the games on a Saturday, leave Sunday out, let them go to England, play the game, and then come. I just...
It's changing next year.
I hate it.
Next year.
Yeah. I mean, the first 3 months of the season, you cannot get going. And, you know, you play like 2 or 3 or 4 games, and then there's a break. It's so annoying.
Paul, I think back in the 80s, when you look at these teams like Villa and Forest, they had the same 11 players, man. You used to have one sub. We used to have one sub.
Yeah, exactly.
When you used to have the team sheet out, there was one sub.
One or two subs. It was mental. Listen, Stephen, thank you very much for coming on, matey. Great points made. Thanks very much.
I'm going for a win. Come on, let's change it up.
Hopefully you're right. Take care, mate.
Cheers, man.
So that was Stephen. Next up, we have Roly. Good evening, mate.
Good evening, Paul. How are you?
How are you doing? I'm all right. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Really looking forward to Premier League football again.
Yeah. I mean, look, it's crazy now because sort of obviously Billy does the commentaries for the England game on here. And every time I say, oh, you know, we'll it's England against, and he's like, oh. I mean, I know, bless him, he's brilliant at the commentary. He give his all, but when you know some of the England games he's had to commentate on, and him and Stano, I just it would rip my inner soul out, to be honest.
I know what you mean.
But how are you feeling about Newcastle, Roly? What do you think of this Ross Wilson appointment?
I'm actually quite happy with it. When let's hear his comments about working together and working with the team, and it's very different from the other two that we had who seemed to be up their own bums, especially Mitchell. The fact that he's spoken to Hodgkinson and Eddie before he actually joined is a good sign. I'm not too worried about what happened at Rangers. That's it
seems to be pushing. Yeah, but that's what they're looking for, isn't it? That's what all the journalists are looking for. Or any excuse to say, "Oh, yes, but this happened." The
way I look at it is, it's a learning experience. If he's learned from what happened at Rangers, hopefully it's made him a better operator. He's done some good stuff at Forest. Like some Murillo and a few others that he's got in. Elliot Anderson, it does irk me a little bit that we had to sell him. I understand why there's no release clause, because they basically had us over a barrel. So we had to take whatever deal they gave us.
It was done at a click of a finger, wasn't it? There was no time to sit down and negotiate any deals. It was just, it had to happen. The fee was agreed, and let's get it done. Even Eddie said they got him at a bargain price, because I think if that had been a thought out deal, Roly, there's no doubt about it. They would have got more than what they did. Ryan said he met you at Meat Stack a few hours before the Liverpool game.
Oh, he's the guy from Canada. Yeah,
from Canada. Yeah, Ryan.
Yeah, I was a bit surprised.
Meat Stack. Are you a fan of Meat Stack, Roly?
Yeah, it's not bad. I like. Yeah, I'll go there.
It's a great place.
One of my go-to places when I'm in Toon.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've got my fingers crossed that I can get a ticket in the general sale tomorrow for the Bilbao game. I'm going to try and get up to that one if I can get a ticket. But it's difficult. It's difficult.
Bilbao, they've got a good sort of relationship with Newcastle, and I think
that's why I want. That's why I want this game.
Yeah, it's they'll bring a few more than what Barcelona did, because Barcelona fans don't travel in their numbers, but Bilbao do. The contract situation, Roly, who once Bruno gets done, because that looks like it's number one priority. Who would you go for next?
Sandro, then Botman, and then you've got to get both Tino and Lewis Hall on better deals as well. I think Tino's more important than Lewis, because there's no noise around Lewis Hall at the moment, and he's injured. But I think getting Botman, Sandro, and Tino tied down is imperative. Yeah, and as you said earlier, preferably before January.
Well, I think that's the plan, isn't it? To get these done, it seems to be his remit to get them done quickly and then move on to obviously transfers. Because I think I'm not expecting a lot in the January window, Roly, if I'm openly honest.
I mean, it's such a difficult window to do any business, and people only tend to do business then when they're desperate. Absolutely. And the prices are according. And I think that we'll look for someone potentially letting Willisula go. I mean, I sort of agree with you on that. I think that there's a player in there, but he may be one of these really late developers, but at the moment I just don't see it.
You know what? I said this morning, Roly. I would let Willock go before I let Asula go.
I was listening to you at work from that one. Yeah. And I think Willock is the one that if someone comes in with around 20, 25 what we paid for him, because we bought him so long ago, that would almost be all profit as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I think that would have. I think he's got to the point in his career at Newcastle where he needs a move.
I agree. I think he's done, and the fact that Eddie hasn't brought him on the last few games when he's gone with Miley, and then of course he's got Jacob Ramsey coming back as well. So I think that's going to make a a big. That for me, Willock just doesn't fit in anymore. As well as he's done in the past, you can't keep looking in the past. What's your prediction for Saturday, then, Roly?
Oh, it's a difficult one. I think a lot of it depends on how our Samba boys are, because there is a chance that if Ramsey's fit, he could play Miley and Ramsey, if depending on how fatigued they are. Because they've not just gone over to Singapore and Japan. They went halfway there and had to come up all the way back and then go out again.
Out again. It's been a bit of a rough trip. But I think Bruno would play, Roly, if I'm honest. I think it doesn't matter. I think Bruno plays.
I think Bruno would fight Eddie to play.
Exactly. But I have a hunch that if Ramsey's fit, he may start over Joe, because Joe hasn't been great. So far
I kind of think that's why he wasn't in the squad for the last game.
Yeah, it could
to
be.
give him the extra time so that he has a chance to actually start on Saturday.
Yeah. So what was your prediction, Roly?
It'll be a low-scoring game because I think our defense is so tight at the moment.
Don't say that. I've got to commentate on the game, Roly. Come on.
You can have good low-scoring games, but
hey, when have you watched this channel, Roly, and watched us and watched the commentary on Matchday Lives, and we've had a low-scoring, fantastic game? It doesn't happen because it's just it's just so much luck that me and Billy are having to invent new things in life to talk about.
The Leeds game earlier this season.
Dear
God,
me.
that was awful.
Honestly, it is so difficult to do. But I get what you're saying. It could be an entertaining game.
Yeah. My heart says a draw. Hopefully, possibly 0-0. So my head says a draw, but my heart says, we'll get a big Nick energy and get one and win at 1-0.
Well, 3 points will be very nice. Listen, Roly, thank you for coming on, matey, and good luck with the Bilbao tickets. Hopefully, you'll get yourself one. Let us know on X if you get one, will you?
Yeah,
Send us a message. Let us know, buddy. But take care. I'll speak soon.
Thank you. Cheers.
All right, bud. Good night. So that was Roly. We've got finally Evan. Are you there, Evan?
I am. Yes. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, we can. How are you doing?
Yeah, not too bad, sir.
Good.
Been kind of waiting for the season to start again, but going well.
It's awful, isn't it? You just get going again and then it stops for another couple of weeks. It's so damn annoying.
Well, I feel like they've foreplanned it for whenever we get our vibe going, we get stopped for an international break again. So
it
not ideal.
It does seem to work like that. So what would you like to say tonight then, Evan?
Well, I'd just like to say I think we're bang on the winner this season. I think we've taken a slow start, but we've done that the last few years. And I think that everyone's clicking. And I think that we're just going to keep on clicking. I think the under-21 is a bit of a concern, as is the women's team. But I think the main team is just gelling and gelling and gelling. We're getting there.
Yeah. There was an interesting article this morning, Evan, about players that Ross Wilson could look to ship out in January, whether it be on loan or whether it be on permanent deals. And there were some interesting names on there. You know, Alfie Harrison was on there. You know, a player that, had come from Manchester City, been training with the first team and came with a big potential, but it hasn't taken off for him at Newcastle. I was very surprised to see Alex Murphy on there because I think Alex Murphy is a very capable fullback. But also Ben Parkinson was on there as well. I mean, Ben, he's come on for the first team a few times last season, and I think he's failed to impress as well. So he's got a big job, Ross Wilson, hasn't he? Because it's not just all about players coming in.
He has indeed, yeah. Well, that's what we've been missing. Is I think I've got a lot of love for Shola from his playing days, and I think he has a role to play. I think that he needs more guidance, more assistance, maybe better work around him, because I don't think it's all on him to find these clubs and to put the facilities in place that the clubs are going to play our players. Because at the end of the day, ultimately, you're better off bringing your own players through than other people's. But we've got the players there that getting them a good loan, like Elliot. Elliot's was amazing at Bristol City. To be fair, it was kind of fluke going down to League Two and just smashing the shit out of it.
He was awesome, wasn't he? Yeah.
He was indeed, especially in that last game. My goodness, I'll never forget him. But we don't get those.
I mean, I don't get why I said this morning. I find it puzzling why the academy is struggling, and the under-21s or under-18s.
Exactly.
Whenever you check up on the results, some of them have had an absolute hiding this season. We've had some good performances as well. Don't get me wrong. The likes of Park, Sean Neve. I think those two are probably the two that stand out for me in the academy now that can make the jump. But obviously Eddie will take the time, etc. However, the rest of I don't know. It's just going to be really. I want to see them do well. I want to see youngsters come through the academy into the first team, but we haven't seen that for so long. Yes, there's been Miley and the odd one here and there, but we don't seem to have that conveyor belt that other clubs have, and I think that's something that maybe Ross Wilson will look at.
Well, this is it. I think we're churning out. I think we're churning out the players. We're just not able to get them the opportunities. The loans aren't landing.
Yeah.
Maybe there's something missing in the rotation, because I see a lot of the same players playing, and for a while Park wasn't getting in there. And it's bits like this where they need to form relationships and partnerships, but at the same time they need playing time, and at the same time we need to get everyone play. I think at the moment our biggest problem is we've got too many in there. With Murphy still around, with Ashby still around, we haven't got our loan players out. MacArthur's still here. Those
he's
loans
on the list
what
as
gives
well.
us the space.
Heffernan, I think, was on the list as well. So there is a few that they possibly will go out. And I think, the likes of Heffernan, etc. I think is
another one.
Probably good loan deals to have. Get them playing football. Get them playing at a first team level, and then make your decision if they're going to make it. Then, because playing constantly in the academies for me is not going to tell you if they're going to make it big. You need to see them in a first team environment, and if you don't, then it's a bit disappointing. How are you feeling?
Well, I was reading.
Go on. Sorry. Go on.
I was reading a little interview with, I think it was Pivas on the NUFC website, and it was really, really enlightening actually, because he's one that we picked up, dropped off on loan in another country. He never really made it over here, and now he's back of having not played all season last season. I think he got 3 sub appearances. It was shocking. With Willem too.
Well, the same's happening with Cadero this season. He's sitting on his arse again, and that infuriates me because he's got talent. Cadero, I've seen him quite a few times, and
this was
Newcastle United cannot possibly be happy with what's happening to him. And again, look at the loan moves. Kuol, his loan moves were completely wrong, and that destroyed him as a player. And we don't want that to happen to the likes of Cadero, who has a lot of talent. And yet he's not getting any football right now. And whoever's running this loan department, whether it be Amiobi or whoever, they've got to step in here and do something, because we can't let him go to the waves as well, because he's too good for that.
This is it, and that's why I found the Pivash article and interview so enlightening, is because he was referencing growth, and being in the environment that he was in last season was massive for him, but also coming back to the U21s where he's getting time, attention, and genuine one-to-one time. It's a massive step for him. So he's gone from a smaller club to a bigger club where he's not getting game time, to a bigger club where he is getting game time, but he's not in the first team. And I think it's about putting that, getting their mentality right, seeing them as steps, having they're part of the process. And you might not be playing, but you're with big players. You're in a different country. You're learning different systems and styles with different coaches. I think that's, if you can get it to be a positive thing, then even when they do, essentially flop and fail, they can gain something from it and take that on to the next step. I think that's what we missed with Kowal, because he went to Hearts and that failed, and we shipped him off somewhere else.
It was
and
a terrible, it was terrible loan deals.
Hearts was bad luck. He was playing at Hearts, and then they changed their manager. And that's what screwed him over, personally. I think we had maybe a verbal agreement with the manager, and when they changed the manager, there was no agreement anymore. And this is the interesting thing. We need to get something in there that gets them playing, whether it's playing in the smaller clubs or...
Absolutely. Well, Travis is there. Paul, you lie. Cadero got 7 seconds in his last appearance. But
I've had him on my sofa score notifications, and I'm getting alerted when he comes on, and I don't know if this season's been before the 90th minute. It's always after the 90th, and it's the Eddie Howe thing of, I'm going to throw you on to buy us some time and slow the game down and give us a bit of adjustment space. it gives you 2 or 3 minutes in the game when you make a sub. So I think that's all they're using him for, and that's horrendous. But at the same time, he went from second league in Spain to the first league. So there is development there. There is a change. There is growth. There's potentially better coaches, and hopefully he's growing from it still. But yeah, it's really depressing. It's quite upsetting.
Well, listen, Evan, thank you very much for coming on. Great little chat there about the academy and players coming through. So thank you very much, and hopefully we'll see you next time.
Indeed, I'll strive to get there.
Cheers, Evan. Good night.
Thank you, guys.
So there you go. That is Fan Forum done and dusted for tonight. Thank you, everybody, for coming on. It's been a pleasure. Some great chats tonight about Ross Wilson, about player development, about new contracts. That's what we want on the Fan Forum. So thank you to everybody who's took part. Thank you for taking part in the chat, of course, as well. Please give it a like if you've enjoyed the show tonight. And, of course, if you're new around here and like what you see, please do subscribe. There won't be any breakfast show at 10 o'clock in the morning. I've got the puppy at the vet's at 10 o'clock. So, unfortunately, there won't be a breakfast show. If there is any big news, I'll probably go live a bit later on. If it's just little bits of snippets of stories, I'll put a video out. So there will be content tomorrow from the Toon Review anyway. Matchday Live tomorrow night with England. And, of course, we start the build-up to the Premier League again on Wednesday. So loads to come on the channel. You won't miss a kick of Newcastle United season. Every match, live commentary right here on the Toon Review. But enjoy the rest of your Tuesday night, folks. Thank you to the mods as well. And we will see you very, very soon. Good night.
Come back and check out the breeze.